Grand Chief, we really appreciate you joining us here in studio. It's a pleasure to have you here. So I just mentioned some numbers about female chiefs across the country compared to male. What goes through your minds when you see those numbers?
We've come a long way in terms of women coming into leadership and coming to become chiefs of their nations. Back in the day, in the 70s and the 80s, you would very rarely hear of women taking leadership roles. And so it kind of changed throughout time. And for Manitoba itself, we have, I believe it's 9 women chiefs and 80 women councillors from their respective communities. So even that has changed in terms of having women councillors representing their nations.
So you've been in your role, you were elected just over a month ago now, I guess. So in that short time, how's it been? I imagine incredibly busy?
It has been. I've been there a month and 3 days. I keep the count. And it's been very busy in terms of being invited to speak at the events and being able to meet people, meet leadership, and it's very exciting. It's busy, but a good busy, right? And just yesterday, we were in Ottawa and we got to meet the Prime Minister. And so even to that, meeting the National Women's Chief was a great honor for myself to be able to look up to women in powerful leadership. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so we're talking about Indigenous women in charge today. So why is it important a woman is leading the AMC after so many years of men leading the helm, so to speak?
It's a time and place for women to take that role. It's crucial for our people at this point in time in our lives and how the governments have treated us. And it's up to the women to take the stand, to be able to speak on behalf of their people, and to be able to correct the wrongs of what government has done to our people. And we need to be able to be vocal, to be able to relay the messaging from the community, from the First Nation level to the governments. Mm-hmm. And we speak as women, we speak from the heart. We speak on the fact that we are the life givers for our children, and that we be able to put in place a journey for our children. So it can be a little bit better than our journey at the present time.
Well, yeah, you had just touched on, I guess, some of the maybe foundational differences of how a man would lead as opposed to a woman. So can you touch a little bit more on that? Leading into my next question is just what are some of the main differences really, and maybe how it's led?
Well, every leader leads with the heart. Mm-hmm. But as a woman, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a giver of life, we tend to be able to hold our children closer to our hearts, and to ensure that we be able and capable of taking care of them. And a lot of the government, what they have done to our people in terms of Bill C-92, where they tried to prove that we couldn't take care of our children. Right. But we are very much so at a time where we need to be able to speak to it, and the injustice that has been done to our people need to be corrected, and it's the women that are going to correct that.
So what do you think it means for other women in leadership roles and the youth to see a woman as the Grand Chief of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs?
I believe that we have broken some barriers in terms of having a woman in the leadership of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, and to be able to be supported by the majority of the chiefs is a great honor for myself, and that they be able to believe in what I can bring forth in terms of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, to be able to lead them in a good way, in a good heart, to be able to speak in a good way, in a good heart for our people here in Manitoba, realizing that we do make up 22% of the total population of Indigenous people here in Manitoba, right? And yet we're the poorest of the poor, and that shouldn't be. And the government needs to listen to the voices, to the leadership in Manitoba here. Yeah.
Well, just in relation to that last question, do you have any advice for a woman or a little girl who's maybe thinking, seeing you and is like, oh, maybe I want to, take on some sort of leadership, whether
Yes,
it just be
for
in their
sure.
community even, or
Yes, for sure. I would so encourage our young women, our little girls that are out there, being able to see that having a woman in the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs leadership, that they can do it too, that they can take that, and never to be scared to take that step to be in these positions. It's not an easy journey. It wasn't an easy journey for myself to become a leader in my community. And I was basically groomed through time, when I was in council as well. I was there for over 10 years. So I had to learn. And when I did seek for the chief of my community, it took a while. I didn't get picked right away, right? Yeah. But a lot of times we need to be able to prove that we are very capable of doing the job. We're not, in terms of being strong, we're not strong as our men, and we will always depend on our men to do that work. But in terms of being able to bring light to our communities, it's the woman that does that, and it's the woman that take care of the community.
It sure is, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to sort of just change subjects a little bit, but still on the same subject. One of the things that some people might be wondering is the wearing of a headdress. Now, will you be wearing a headdress in the future?
Yes, I will be.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily a man's headdress.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't take it lightly, because we did ask in ceremony to see what we were going to do in terms of my leadership. I never wore a headdress when I was chief.
Right.
And so we asked in ceremony as to what we would be able to do. So we'll have a headdress ceremony come hopefully at the end of January.
Okay.
And it's going to be it was the messaging through ceremony was it's time to bring back what the women leaders wore back what our ancestors wore at that time.
And before so that's going to be super encouraging to see with
Yes,
that. I'm sure we will be there as well for that ceremony.
Yes.
But before we let you go, I just sort of wanted to ask an overall question about everything we're talking about, and why is it so important to see just Indigenous women in leadership roles, in whether it be government or politics or like I mentioned, in their own community? Why is that so important?
It's important because, and I think I said it earlier, that it's a woman that's going to take that lead to the wellness of our people. There's so many addictions, so many things that we are put through from residential school, from day schools, from 60s school, from taking our children out of our homes, because people in government didn't think that we were capable of taking care of our children, and that's not right. How would they feel? I can't imagine that happening So we need to change the way that people think and view of our people. That we are capable. We do have good hearts. It's just that there are obstacles in how we take care of our own. And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be, because we can do it ourselves. There's a lot of very educated, bright First Nation young people that are eventually going to take over, and they're eventually, maybe they're not going to be as kind as we are, but they're going to do right for their people as well.
Well, they certainly are, and it helps that somebody like yourself is leading the charge as well. So, Grand Chief Merrick, I want to say a big thank you, miigwech, for you.
Thank you.
We're going to have to leave our interview there, but we certainly appreciate you taking some time for us today.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for the invite.